Guys, Coach Fatma here, and I wanted to go over a few things with you that I do for food prep so you get a better idea of how you can basically help yourself to be successful during the week. I have found that if I don't food prep over the weekend, then my weeks just go bleh, but if I food prep, then we eat well during the week. So here are a few things that I do. So for our salads, one thing that I do is I buy the bagged lettuce that's all pre-washed and ready to go, because if I buy a head of lettuce, it's just gonna go rot in the fridge. And I'm just being honest here, it's just what happens. But if it's in the bag, ready to go, we'll eat salad. The other thing is that we cut up our vegetables and we put them in mason jars. Putting your cut up vegetables in mason jars is a great way to keep them fresh. They actually keep about a week in mason jars like this, so that's what you want to do with your cut up vegetables. So I've got cucumbers right here, got some cut up bell peppers and celery. And then the other thing as far as vegetables are concerned is that this is something I actually just recently started. We used to just have the cut up vegetables, but my husband and I like to have more variety with our vegetables. So recently I also started roasting vegetables in the oven. So I made some Brussels sprouts, and these look very dark because I kind of like them crunchy, but you don't have to let them go this dark. Okay, we're also going to have some of this for dinner tonight, so there's a bit more than what the lid will fit in here right now, but that's that. So for the Brussels sprouts, I just took some olive oil and balsamic vinegar and tossed it in that, and that tastes really good. But really, you can season your vegetables any way you want to make them to your taste, really. So I also have broccoli and bell peppers that I cut up that I also roasted, and I like my vegetables dark, so they're a little darker. The other thing is cauliflower. And with this, I toss the cauliflower in olive oil and curry powder. That tastes pretty darn good. I used to do the same with the balsamic vinegar. Oh, that's what I used on the broccoli and the bell peppers too, by the way, is the balsamic vinegar and olive oil. This is olive oil and curry powder, and it tastes really good. So if you haven't tried this yet, give that a try. It's really good. The other thing I made is, so for our carbs, it's also super easy to prepare. I make quinoa, and we also made some sweet potatoes. The sweet potatoes I made in the Instant Pot, and that was super easy. If you don't have an Instant Pot and want to get one, it actually really helps with food prep. It also helps during the week if you're needing to cook something during the week. Makes life a little easier. So sweet potatoes and quinoa, and the other thing is I've made a batch of brown rice. For the quantities of the quinoa and brown rice, it's just something that you're going to have to figure out for yourself how much you'll use up in a week. So I make about a cup of quinoa and a cup of brown rice, and that sometimes lasts us the whole week, and sometimes it doesn't. Just kind of depends on what we feel like eating. And you just basically need to have your building blocks for your meals ready to go, and know that, like for us, we know that for lunch and for dinner we have a carbohydrate, a protein, and a vegetable every day, and then we just decide, okay, this is what I want today. Okay, for the protein, I've got chicken barbecued and ready to go. Used to cut it up before. I don't always do that, but it does make it easy if you cut it up and portion it out. Then you don't have to portion it out when you are putting your meal together. So that, and hard-boiled eggs also in the mason jar. And I also made these in the Instant Pot today, and that was super awesome. It's the first time I've tried doing that. And if you want to give that a try, basically what you do is you take your insert for your Instant Pot and put a cup of water in there, put your eggs in there, and cook the eggs on manual for 8 minutes, and then do a quick release. And the shells, just like you crack the shells and they just came right off. It was really, really awesome. No hard time with peeling the eggs with that. So let's see, anything else? Oh, I steamed some green beans, so that's another vegetable. I also washed and cut up strawberries. When I do this, the strawberries get eaten. When I don't, they end up rotting in the fridge, and this way I know they'll get eaten. The trick with strawberries, by the way, to keep them fresh is you put them in cold water. So you wash them, put them in cold water, and then you put a little bit of vinegar in there, and that actually keeps the strawberries fresh. So otherwise, when I used to do this before, they would just start going bad. But now, since I started doing that, they stay fresh in the container. So the last thing that I'm gonna do tonight is cut up a pineapple, because again, if I don't cut it up, this is just gonna rot. So just gotta do that tonight, and then that's it. And so we are about ready to eat dinner, but this is what I do to make life easier. And when you take this little bit of time over the weekend, you will realize that yes, this does make life a whole lot easier during the week. So I strongly encourage you to actually go through and do this. It really helps a ton with living healthy, and if you're trying to lose weight, lose the weight and staying on track. That's it. So I will see you guys later. Bye.